Solo: A Star Wars Story is finally here. Is it the Han Solo movie we needed, or is it just a letdown that we all thought it would be? I'll tell you my thoughts right now. What's going on, guys? Ryan O'Toole back here again, giving you guys another review. Of course, the movie I am talking about today is the only big release coming out this weekend. That is Solo: A Star Wars Story. Directed by Ron Howard, not Phil Lord and Chris Miller, the two original guys that were supposed to direct this movie. They were fired because of creative differences, and now Ron Howard is the director now. And this movie has a great cast in it. It's got Alden Ehrenreich as the new young Han Solo, as well as Donald Glover as Lando, Woody Harrelson, Paul Bettany, Emilia Clarke, and so many great others. This review, of course, is 100% spoiler-free. Stay tuned to tomorrow. Tomorrow night on my channel, I'm doing a spoiler-filled live stream with Mike from Married Movie Reviews. Him and I will be talking about all the spoilers for Solo. So there's no spoilers in this review right now. So if you haven't seen Solo: A Star Wars Story yet, don't worry, you guys are safe here. Solo: A Star Wars Story is the new Star Wars anthology film, and it's the origin story of the beloved Star Wars character Han Solo. This is how he became the smuggler that we all know him to be. He's played by Alden Ehrenreich, and this guy started out as a rebel. He was doing different things, like different heists. He was kicked out of the flight academy. And so now he wants to get a ship to try to find his love life, Emilia Clarke. He also meets Chewbacca, of course. This film shows us how Han and Chewie met, as well as how Han and Lando Calrissian met, played by Donald Glover. In this movie, it's a heist movie, a Western movie, and a different take in the Star Wars universe. Hearing the news that there was going to be a Han Solo movie, I was like, really? Do we really need a Han Solo movie? I mean, Harrison Ford is fantastic as the character. Nobody can play this character, in my opinion, other than Harrison Ford. So I gave the movie a chance. I watched all the trailers for it. I was like, it's not hitting me. You guys want to hear my thoughts on Solo: A Star Wars Story. Is it good? Is it bad? Or is it okay? My honest thoughts, I was really disappointed by this film. I just thought the movie was okay. I don't get some of the praise that people had for it. They said this is absolute fun, great, fun adventure in the Star Wars franchise. And I really didn't see that. I just thought this movie was meh. And I'll tell you why. So let's go right to the positives first. Out of the performances, there are a couple that I really liked. My favorite character in the film is Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian. He had that charisma, that swagger that Billy Dee Williams had in the original trilogy. I thought Donald Glover was really cool as this character, very funny, very charismatic in the role. And there is kind of a negative with this character, which I'll get into in my negative section, but this character was so cool. My other favorite is Chewbacca. We saw a lot of Chewbacca in this movie. And the new actor that plays him, it's not Peter Mayhew, he's too old. Very funny and hilarious. And I just loved seeing the scene of how him and Han first met. I'm not going to spoil anything, but seeing how they first met, that was amazing. I was laughing out loud. It was great. I also liked Emilia Clarke as Qi'ra. She was a badass in this movie. I really bought the romance as well as her character. She was a badass and she was great. The action sequences are great. And it all comes down to that cinematography by Bradford Young, the guy who did the cinematography for Arrival. This film is fucking beautiful. All the action set pieces looked great. The camera shots are beautiful and gorgeous. The scene that everybody has seen in the trailer, this train chase, it looked fantastic. There's some great shots of the Millennium Falcon in its glory, and it's just really beautiful to see. I would definitely say this is a great looking Star Wars film. And there's also some fun moments in the film. Like I talked about in my Stardust reaction, there are some fun moments in the film, but none that make me go, wow, that was hilarious. I was chuckling in some scenes, and I was kind of cringing in some scenes. So I think that perfectly transitions to my negative section. So let's talk about the problems I had with Solo: A Star Wars Story. I think one of my key problems with the film is Alden Ehrenreich as Han Solo. I don't get what people love about him. I don't find him great. I just find him okay. It didn't feel like the Han Solo I know. I know he's doing a different interpretation, not trying to copy Harrison Ford. I just didn't buy it. I felt like he was forcing the humor way too much, and the charisma. I just didn't see the charisma like some other people did. There's some other characters too that I felt were completely wasted, like Woody Harrelson's character in particular. I think Woody Harrelson's character was in this movie too much. There's some things I didn't like about his character, but there's some cool things about him. It's Woody Harrelson. He's a great character actor. He could play anybody. Also, Paul Bettany as the main villain, Dryden Voss. Awful villain. I didn't like the direction they took with Paul Bettany. He was really cheesy. He was barely in the movie as well. I wanted to see more of Paul Bettany. He's a great actor. There's really no memorable action sequence in this film. Some people can defend the train sequence as being the most memorable action scene. It's short, like it's not really memorable. There's nothing about this film that is like the Battle of Hoth in Empire Strikes Back or the battle on Endor in Return of the Jedi. There's not that one memorable scene. Also, the story is very boring and slow paced. Like, there's so many things involving gangster stuff and different heist missions I felt were way too long. Some poker scenes that were drawn out. The story's very generic and boring. I didn't feel that much invested in it. I wanted a more coherent story and more character development. I wanted Phil Lord and Christopher Miller in the director's chair. Not that I hate Ron Howard. I think he's a fine director. Just, I felt Phil Lord and Chris Miller could have brought more fun, sway, and more humor to this movie, because these guys directed the Jump Street movies and the Lego movie, so they know what they're doing when it comes to comedy. This film just had some meh comedy. I didn't want to talk too much about Solo because I'm doing a spoiler talk, but in the end, I found Solo disappointing. That's just my opinion. I wanted this movie to be so much better, so much more entertaining. There are some fun moments, don't get me wrong. Just some of the characters were meh. Solo: A Star Wars Story was exactly what I was expecting it to be. Just kind of a letdown and an unnecessary Star Wars spin-off movie. On my rating scale, I'm going to give Solo: A Star Wars Story a 3 out of 5 stars. Meh. Alright guys, that was my review for Solo: A Star Wars Story. You guys seen it yet? And let me know your thoughts on Solo down below if you loved it, hated it, and thought it was meh like me. Thank you guys as always for watching this review, and if you guys liked it, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe today for more content. All my social media links are in the description down below. Click that notification bell on your way out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.